To Capitol Hill now, where reactions are mixed over the latest allegations facing the president-elect. Our Nancy Cordes caught up with Arizona Senator John McCain and asked him what he thought of the reports about Russia.
Did the fact that Mr. Trump has expressed a viewpoint on Russia that most lawmakers don't share lead you to view this document with more credibility?
No, I just viewed the document as what I saw, and as we now know from what has been revealed, it's serious information, and that's why I thought I ought to get it over to the FBI so that they can make the proper assessment.
And congressional correspondent Nancy Cordes joins us now from Capitol Hill. Nancy, we just heard you there with Senator McCain. What has been the overarching reaction from members of Congress to the Trump allegations?
There's a lot of shock, Elaine. There's a lot of discussion about just how real this information actually is. You've got a lot of lawmakers saying, look, we have to take this slow. This is opposition research. We don't know if anything in these documents is true. We shouldn't force the president-elect to essentially prove his innocence. And this looks a lot like information that comes into the intelligence community all the time that has to be vetted, and a lot of information turns out to be wrong. But you have a lot of Democrats who say, Elaine, hey, look, we always wondered what was going on with Donald Trump. We always wondered why he had this view of Russia that differed so greatly even from Republicans on Capitol Hill who see Russia as an enemy. And they believe that these documents, even if everything in them isn't true, could shed some light on why he holds those views, why he was so reluctant, for example, to say for so long, even after he was told by intelligence officials that Russia was involved in trying to sway the U.S. election. And so there's a lot of conflict here. There are some Republicans who feel that somehow the intelligence community is trying to make life difficult for the president-elect. That's an opinion that they share with Mr. Trump. But these documents have been around, floating around Capitol Hill much longer than the intelligence community has been taking a look at them. If the intelligence community did brief Mr. Trump himself on Friday, well, that's a development, but the documents themselves have landed in the laps of journalists and even some lawmakers like Senator McCain a long time ago.
Well, Senator Lindsey Graham responded to President-elect Trump's "I lost, you won" comments today. How do you see Graham's relationship developing with his incoming White House?
You know, Lindsey Graham is kind of a maverick, and he has shown before that Donald Trump's comments about him roll pretty easily off his back. And he said, sure, Mr. Trump did win the election, and I did lose, and I got 1%, and, you know, that's my problem, and I have to work on it. And actually, Graham was one of the people who was saying today that people should not rush to judgment about what is in these documents, that the burden of proof is really on the U.S. intelligence community now, to pour through this information, to try to make sense of it, to see if anything in there can be verified. And the burden of proof is not on Mr. Trump to try to show somehow that the things in this document aren't true. So Graham has shown himself to be someone who will side with Mr. Trump when he feels that Mr. Trump is right, and he'll certainly come down hard on him when he thinks that Trump is wrong on issues like Russia and on other foreign matters.
Well, Nancy, what about the timing of this unverified, these unproven allegations? You have Rex Tillerson facing some criticism for his ties to Russia, obviously undergoing confirmation hearings. Are either Republicans or Democrats telling you anything about what they make of the timing of this coming out now?
You know, there are some Republicans who are suspicious about the timing, but I think that at the end of the day, the timing is pretty simple. These are documents that have been floating around in journalistic circles here on Capitol Hill for a long time. Journalists looked at the documents, tried to verify what was in them, and they couldn't, and decided not to do the story. What changed on Friday was that the president and the president-elect and the Gang of Eight, the top leaders in Congress, were briefed about what was in those documents. And that created a separate story. That showed that intelligence officials considered these documents to be noteworthy enough to inform the president-elect about them. And that is what made this a story, less than Rex Tillerson or anyone else who might be having a confirmation hearing this week, or the fact that Donald Trump is being sworn into office next week.
All right, Nancy Cordes on Capitol Hill. Nancy, thank you.
You're welcome.